Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all for clicking on this video and watching today. Um, in this video, I'm going to be doing a May wrap up, showing what some of the things that had sold, as well as giving some shop updates. Um, I know it's already June 3rd, so it's kind of a bit late, but better late than never. I'm hoping to this summer while I'm home from school do some more um, videos and be a little bit more consistent with posting on this channel. I feel like oftentimes, like, I love creating content for this channel, but a lot of times it just feels like it's on the back burner, and I'm hoping that this summer I can make some more videos for you guys. So, my biggest shop update is that I redesigned my banner here. I kept my logo because I have this like stamp box with my handle that I put on my mailers. So I kept that, and then I changed this. It used to just be like a back of a postcard, but now I try to add some things that I really like selling, like greetings, radio broadcast stations. I have some photos in here, some letterheads over here, print ads, just a variety of things that I sell in my store. The only thing I don't sell in here is these little stamps, but I just kind of liked them for the design of the banner. So, anyway, that's the biggest shop update. And that's pretty much it. I also am starting to sell some photographs. I'm finding them actually a little bit easier to sell than postcards. I've only listed like maybe 50 or so kind of like unidentified photos, and people seem to be interested in them. There is a YouTuber that I watched called Annie eBay School. She's no longer posting videos, but she has some great content, and she has a series that's about selling photos and specific keywords to use for different genres of photos. And I found that video to be super helpful, or that series to be helpful. So definitely go check that out. But anyway, I'm going to start from least to most. I've had this card for a while. It's in New Orleans, Pat O'Brien's restaurant, and I sold this one on an offer for $3. I am selling some print ads. It's a different kind of genre I'm getting into as well. This is a Christmas print ad from 1972 from Vanda Beauty Counselor. And I bought this in at the Goodwill bins. So if you're not familiar with that, it's like all the donations that Goodwill gets that they don't have a chance to put out onto their floor, or things that don't sell in their store go there. Um, and you can just find anything there. And sometimes there's some good vintage magazines. So I'll do print ads, and you buy them for like pennies on the dollar. So I mean, it's really good for sourcing these types of things. But this one I had listed for $7.97, and it sold for $5.58. This is a really neat chrome postcard. I just love the looks of it with the old, like, uh, RVs, the chairs, the laundry hanging on the line. This one I had listed for $7.97, and it sold full price. This is an example of a photo that I sold. I sold this one like less than 24 hours after listing it, but I listed it as rural mailbox, pretty woman in jumpsuit, U.S. mailbox, and then on the back it's captioned "No Mail Jessie" from 1938. And this sold for $9.97. This is a nice Missouri postcard from Lexington, and it actually is not a postcard. There's nothing on the back, but it looks like a postcard. It's the postcard size, and it's the Methodist Church. I had this one up for 1997, and someone messaged me and offered $10, and I accepted that offer because I've had it for a little bit of time now. This is an example of a postcard I've had for quite some time, almost a year now, a year next July. So I bought this at the Eagan, Minnesota postcard show. This is from Lake Vermillion in Tower, Minnesota, and it's from 1946, and I sold it full price for $9.97. This is another photograph that I sold. It is from Wilson, North Carolina, and it's a really nice view. It's just this woman kind of lounging in this wicker chair. It's an office of some sort. There's a calendar, a lamp, what looks to be like a fan, the electric boxes, the newspaper. It's just a really neat scene, kind of a candid scene, and it was from Wilson, North Carolina from the 1910s. And I had this listed for $14.97 and sold it on a 10% off offer for $13.47. This is another Missouri card. I live in Missouri, love Missouri, and like selling Missouri postcards. And Shelbyville is actually semi kind of a bolo. Um, this postcard sold almost overnight for the asking $14.97. There are greetings from 1944, and wouldn't necessarily say this is a bolo, but I would say that there are several people from Shelbyville who collect Shelbyville ephemera and postcards. So definitely keep an eye out for that. This is a postcard I sourced from um, a postcard. I'm a part of the postcard club here in St. Louis, and I sourced this one from um, a member, and it's from Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and it's actually this Burkhead's Court is actually pretty common postcard, but this particular view is not. I sold this one on an offer for $13.98. It's really neat. There's a Coca-Cola sign, the old gas pumps and stuff. So pretty neat card. This one is a pennant greeting from Calamus, Iowa. Anytime I see a pennant greeting card from a small town, really anywhere, I'll pick it up if it's under $1 or maybe even $2. These tend to do pretty good, and this one sold full price for $14.97. This postcard I actually sold today, so not in May, but it's a pretty interesting card, or not card, a photograph, and it's from Levering, Michigan, and it's a flapper girl. She's a flapper girl, maybe she's not, but her costume, her bathing suit definitely looks to be flapper girl esque, and it's from the 1920s. And I actually didn't notice this when I listed it, and maybe it could have sold for more if I had mentioned it. But if you can see on her like leg or like upper thigh there, it looks like there's almost like a tattoo. And I probably could have put something like that in the um, title to maybe make it sell a little bit better. I don't know, but I had it listed for $19.97, and then I have a sale running on some of my items for 15% off. So this one sold for $16.97, and it's a pretty bland photo. I mean, minus her bathing suit or like costume here, there's really not much going on, and not much to be seen on the lake. But I am happy it sold. I think it's pretty neat with her dress and stuff like that. So, yep, that one sold for $16.97. And this is a great example of how postal cards can really surprise you at some points. I love selling postal cards, especially when they are for a certain business or company. Um, I find that they're pretty collectible. This is from the Central Maine Power Company, telling a customer that their control dial is ready to be picked up. And it's from 1955. So not like super old, and it sold for full price, and it honestly looks pretty bland, but um you always got to look out for these postal cards. This is a card I bought at the Omaha Postcard Show, and it is it's in a different language, but it's translated to a well-known scene from the operating theater in the orphanage of St. Joseph in Lisle, Illinois. I did buy this one full price, but the dealers wanted $4, and I paid that. And I had it listed for $34.97 because it's a really neat scene. He's like shaving this little boy, um, and there's like the shaving, stuff down here, and the other boy holding the razor and stuff like that. And these St. Joseph Orphanage cards do seem to do pretty good from Lisle, Illinois. I saw a couple of them had sold. So I listed this one for $34.97, and I took an offer for $24.48 after it had been listed for a couple of weeks. So happy that that sold. This is also a pretty neat street scene. It's an RPPC from a big city, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And let me see if I can make this bigger. I don't know why it's not letting me. But you can see here there's a dentist office, the Iowa Optical Co., a cigar shop, candy store. I always try to point out some things like that if I have extra room in the title. There's also, it looks like a broadcast station up here, KOTM, watches, stuff like that. So I did put that there was a dentist office in the Iowa Optical in the title. I don't know if that helped sell it or not, but I had this listed for $49.97 and accepted an offer of $30 on it. This is a white border card from Georgetown, South Carolina from 1938, and it is like just called the business section, and this sold full price for $29.97. Recently at an antique mall, I bought a lot of um, ribbons from different poultry shows and fairs in Illinois, like all across Illinois, from like the early 1900s into the 1930s. And this one I listed from Plainfield, Illinois, and it's from 1922, and it sold overnight for $39.97. This is a RPPC of Hamburg, Michigan, and at first you don't really see much. It's not that amazing of a view. I mean, there's a lot of trees obscuring stuff, but the person who sent this postcard out originally labeled it as depot and hotel, so that was super helpful. That whoever did that, I think it's funny that that's now, because honestly, I probably wouldn't have even maybe necessarily recognized that as the depot. But I put that in the title, and I had this one listed and also this separate view listed as the depot as well. And I sold both of these Hamburg, Michigan depot cards for $59.97 each, and they went to the same buyer. You can even see where he typed up here where I board with the hotel. But yeah, they're pretty neat scenes from Hamburg, Michigan. This is a kind of a s- uh, so anyway, this isn't even a postcard. This is a photo that I put on an auction because these photos of stagecoach cars from the Yellowstone National Park actually do pretty good. Um, I saw a lot that had sold recently for like 80-ish dollars, somewhere around there. Um 70, 80. Anyway, so this one is from 1917 to 1922. This I think it's a woman who had this Yellowstone stagecoach car called the Mayflower. And um I had put this on auction. It had like over like almost 30 views, had several watchers, and the person who ended up so it sold for $59.97, And the person who bought it put 3 bids in at, like, the last minute, like, I guess increasing their highest amount. So I know that this photo could have gone for probably much, much more than what it sold for, because the person was really trying to make sure that nobody else would outbid them, and I kept seeing that they were bidding, but because nobody else bid, it just stayed at the asking price, which was fine. I'm still really happy with $59.97 because um, this photo was not much. But yeah, so definitely be on the lookout for the Yellowstone National Park stagecoach cars. They are pretty valuable, especially these early ones. And then lastly, I sold a bunch of these postal cards, a lot of like 12 or 15 of them. They're all from Cleveland, Ohio. They're pretty boring ones, like just like little businesses and stuff like that. Um, and these are from, if you remember, like way, 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 way back, if you've been a viewer for a long time, I bought a lot on eBay of postal cards that had all of those radio broadcast stations postal cards in them. And so that was several $100s that I made off those. In that same lot were these a bunch of Cleveland, Ohio ones. So I had them all listed separately, and this buyer has just been buying a lot of them, and asked to buy a bulk lot of them for $65. So again, never these postal cards seem kind of boring, but they're pretty interesting. I think buyers like them because they kind of show it a different kind of point of history. Um, but anyway, so that is everything that I have to share for my what sold for the May of month, or yeah, for the month of May. And anyway, thank you all for watching. Have a good one. Bye.